Hey, I hope everyone is doing well. Just want to um, show you what I was seeing in this trade I shared with you guys on the group. This is the one here. Oh, that's the trade. I need to show you guys what I saw and how I traded it. So, we had that break of structure. This was on 15 minutes time frame. But we had our change of character here, and we had this imbalance that was left here, so we knew that price was still going to go up and fill up this imbalance, and I was expecting to see a reaction in our 15 minutes order block. At the same time also, this is how I shared it, but then I also saw this. I expected to also like get a reaction, so that was also my order block. So normally what I always do is that when I get a mitigation like that, I don't just sell. I need to go and on 1 minute time frame, I need to see something like this where I get a change of character here. After I get a change of character, and then I draw my order block on 1 minute, and that's when I'm going to sell when my 1 minute mitigates the order block on 1 minute like that. Then I can sell here and then ride it all the way down. So basically this is what I want to see on 1 minute after we get a mitigation on 15 minutes order block, right? So let's see what happened. So right there we had a mitigation, so I had to go on 1 minute. I had to go on 1 minute to see if I was going to get any break of structure. So currently I was going to mark it like this. This was going to be my break of structure, and this one was going to be the lowest point where I would expect a change of character, but so far it's not yet a change of character, right? Then so we got something like that. It didn't break that low, right? It just reversed there. So that means we have our second break of structure here. That's our second break of structure to the upwards. So our low also moves to that point. That would be our we got another break of structure, so we move our break of structure there, and our lowest point is that one here. We expect to get that break of structure, and then we got something like this, right? So after we got something like this, now I did label that as my break off, as my order block on 1 minute, my order block on 1 minute, and that is where now I left my sell limit, right? So this way I left my sell limit. So that's where my stop loss is. My entry should be there. I'm using this as my order block. So I would go back on 15 minutes. Go back on 15 minutes. So my take profit would be this Asian low here. I'll target this Asian low, right? So I would now go back on 1 minute again. Go back on 1 minute to see what happened. Let's wait for price to come back up for that indication. So we didn't get an entry, then I lost the trade. And then at this moment, now I was looking for a reaction into my other 15 minutes order block, right? So losing is part of the game. As long as you're losing small, you always get those entries that you recover your trade. As long as you're doing the right thing, you're following this, right? After you get a change of character, after you get a break of structure, you wait for a change of character, you mark your order, right? So we got a we got a mitigation there. This is still in 1 minute, so we're expecting to get something like that. So then that happened, right? So this price just went through this zone. Price went through this zone. This our order block for 15 minutes. It didn't give us this kind of a reaction. So I thought maybe it's going to mitigate this. This is a 1 hour order block. This was a 1 hour order block. This was a 1 hour order block. Okay, this was a 1 hour order block. You can this is my 1 hour order block. So I thought my price was going to go all the way there, but I kept watching price. To see if I was going to get any reaction or after it mitigates. It was already near. So that was my break of structure there. Break of structure, and that would act as my lowest point, right? I want to see this broken before I can look for any selling opportunities. Got another break of structure there. So break of structure moves to this point. We have a break of structure there, and our current low in this uptrend is that one, right? We can forget about this zone. It didn't give us the reaction we are looking for. Here we're just moving with price. Then we got that. So this was our change of character, right? After I got a change of character, now normally that would be your order block. So put my sell limit, stop loss just above the highest point of that order block, right? Just above that. But then I did refine it to the last candle, this one here. So this is the normal order block. This is the normal order block, but because we also have these, we call these engulfing order block. So it's still fine if you refine it to that one there, that one, because an order block is supposed to be, say, in an uptrend, the last bullish candle that caused a change of character. So this is the one, but you can refine it to that bearish candle, because this bearish candle caused an engulfing to this bullish candle. So that will be our entry is. So let's see what happened. We got mitigated there in the trade, and then here, so that is where our change of character is, right? And then here we got that break of structure, right? So for me, when you get the second break of structure after a change of character, I always advise to reduce your risk. You can even bring your stop loss at break even, right? That's what I always advise. Now I went back to 15 minutes, since we're already triggered in this trade. Now we just need to look at our target, right? So I just targeted my last, this swing. That's the one I targeted. And then that's how I won this trade. 1 to 8. So also, what I would advise that sometimes when you reach your target like that, instead of closing your trade, you can go back on 1 minute. So when you go back on 1 minute, you start studying how your trade is moving, to see how much you can capitalize on it, right? So we all know that when price is in a downtrend like that, for it to show that it's changing direction is only when it gives us a change of character like that, right? When it breaks its previous high in this downtrend, right? So this is what we would want to see on 1 minute, that whenever it breaks the previous high, that is when we would close our trade, right? So let's use this example to see how much I could have capitalized more. I already closed my trade here just after it came to that point, but we would have capitalized this a lot more, right? So as we can see, just from the start there, that price has been making those kind, right? Something like that. So now we already know that, okay, this is our latest break of structure. That is latest break of structure. I can just remove that. That's our latest break of structure, and that's our highest point That's our highest point. So you want to see this, the highest point to be broken. That is when you can get out of the trade, right? So let's see how price behaves. So could have been in this trade even now. So this one we won't yet consider it as a break of structure because it is only a week that took out this low. This was the current low. This is just a week. We want to see a body close, right? So we'll just leave it like that. Want to see a body close. We'll still be in the trade even now. Remember, this is our highest point. Until that highest point is closed, this is where our trailing stop loss is, right? Yeah, and we got that. So now we have a significant break of structure. That one there, right? We have a break of structure, making this our low. So continue. We had a body close here. So now this way we have to be very strict. We had our body close. Did we? I think that was a body close. Yeah, let me just do this. Then we can consider this as our highest point. Okay, we still have that body close. There, it is at this point that you would have gotten out of the trade, right? So if I can just zoom out, on our trade. So this is the area I would have gotten out. So instead of going out with risk reward ratio of 8, I would have gotten all the way up to, yeah, how much is this? Up to 10, or let me say 11, because 10.95, that's 11. I'd have gotten more out. I'd have gotten 11 from this trade just by following your high highs, high low, high high, until you see that one of them has been broken. Then you know that, okay, market is about to change direction, right? So this is how much I would have gotten on this trade. So just by following this, there's some trades you're going to lose, some trades you're going to win, just by following break of structure. After break of structure, you get a change of character, you mark your order block, and then you leave your sell limit or your buy limit. Same here, it's the same thing we applied here. Same thing we applied here. Break of structure, change of character, you mark your order block, get that mitigation. After you get your break of structure, your first break of structure, you move your stop loss at break even, so that even if it takes you out, it's still fine. You'll still get more opportunities, and you can also be capitalizing those things where you get say the way this one here, you had the break of structure here. The first break of structure, you use it to put your stop loss at break even, and then when you get the next break of structure, this was the next break of structure here. This is your next break of structure. Now, the next break of structure, this one you can use it to add more trades. That's where your order block is, and this is the area you will have added more trades, right? You add more trades. So now you have to know that if you add more trades here, right, that means this is how it's going to play out, right? So that means you'll be selling from here. Your stop loss for the new trade is here. Stop loss for the new trade is here, and then what's going to happen here is that the target is the same with the old trade. What's going to happen here is that your stop loss for your first trade, now you move it from break even to where your stop loss is for the new trade. So they are going to, their stop loss now, they are all going to be here, or the stop loss are all going to be under that line, so that if you're wrong on this trade, you also go out of that trade with the profits, right? So you find that most of the time, just as these were too close to each other, most of the times you find that the small profit you're going to walk out of here, it's also going to cover the loss you're going to incur here. It's more like it's still going to be more a loss, more or less of a break even. So you just keep doing like that. When you want to add more trades, when you get a break of structure, when you want to get a break of, when you want to add more trades, when you get a break of structure like that, get a break of structure, you do that just like that. If price comes here, you enter there. You would have entered there. If price, more like you would have labeled this as price, as an area you are waiting to add more trades here, add more trades, but it didn't give us those opportunities. It just gave us that opportunity here, right? It's up to us to capitalize the first opportunity to get, or what not, right? Yeah, so currently this is what I was looking for. I was on 15 minutes time frame. I marked this as the order block I wanted to trade, even though here there's trend line liquidity. We've got trend line liquidity here. I also marked this on 5 minutes. So even though there was trend line liquidity here, there was this order block that had imbalance here that needed to be filled. So I marked this order block. Instead of just selling direct, I always go on 1 minute. 1 minute is going to save you a lot, guys, because instead of selling direct on 1 minute, this is what price got, just went direct. It hasn't given us any change of character. It's just been making those higher highs. We don't have a change of character in here, so that means we don't have a reason to enter into this trade. We've saved ourselves money instead of just jumping into entering trades. Wait for a change of character before you can enter those trades. It's the same thing I'm going to apply here. After mitigation, I'm going to wait for a change of character before I do anything stupid. So I'm not going to rush into just entering trades just like that. So what you can also do is I marked that order block on 5 minutes, but you can also still do this. You can just take it to there and change it to 15 minutes order block. Then you can expect your reaction in there. In here, you're not just selling direct, you are waiting for a reaction before you can sell, right? So liquidity has been taken out here. We've got imbalance here that still needs to be filled. So after imbalance gets to be filled here, at least we should expect a reaction on 1 minute that should give us an entry instead of just selling direct. Quite alright. all our boxes are ticking, but at least we need one extra confirmation, a change of character on 1 minute. That one will be okay. Selling direct is okay. Sometimes waiting for a change of character, you can miss out on some trades. You can definitely miss out on some trades. It can just mitigate here and then fall. Next time you see price, it is here, because this is all imbalance that has been left. It still needs to be filled here. So if I sell somewhere here, I'll be targeting. This would be where my target would be. So this is it for today, guys.